Hey, what's going on, guys? It is Noza with another video. Today we're going to be talking about the little, not so little actually, hack issue that Guilty Gear Strive has been having for the last little while, pretty much since the patch came out. And we're going to get into it, but before I do, I gotta ask if you do like this channel's content, if you could hit me with a like and subscribe. And even if you disagree with me, again, I am more than willing to have a conversation with you, so comment away if you have any issues with what I said. And with that being said, let's get into it. Okay, so if you are well in tuned into the community, you would know that as of late we've been seeing a very large spike in hacks. And now what I'm talking about, I'm not talking about no Call of Duty hacks where you can aim better or perfect whiff punishes. Nah, nothing like that. But what this hack actually does is it slows down your game to a point in which you actually cannot play the game online at all. You're running it basically at like 20 frames per second, and it is egregious to try and deal with, to be honest with you. And as a result of it, a lot of Guilty Gear streamers have not been streaming the game as often and as much as they normally do. So this is undoubtedly hurting the Strive community, because if people are not streaming the game, then people are not going to be actively seeing the game, and people are not going to want to go and play the game. So when people watch people like Lord Knight, people like Kizzy play the game, they get inspired to play the game themselves. However, when there's no one really playing the game, no one streaming the game, then we have that issue of people not really willing to play the game, especially out of fear of getting that hack themselves, right? There have been people who have said that they're going to be waiting until they patch the game, until they decide to start streaming the game more often. Like if you look at SQ is now playing Dark Souls. Good luck, friend. The game is game's trash. Dark Souls is trash. But that's neither here nor there, right? We're gonna keep moving with the idea that we need to ask the ArcSys developers why they decide to do things the way they do, because I feel as though radio silence isn't going to give people a lot of hope. I feel like if you keep radio silent and not talk about anything, like everything is fine, that is an issue. I feel like if there's an issue on Overwatch, they're like, Blizzard's like, hey yo, we see this issue with Doomfist, bro. We understand. We see your complaints. We're on it. Hot fix that joint. Bop. Right? But when it comes to Guilty Gear or ArcSys games in general, we get the slowest response. You know, it would be like, hey, ArcSys, this issue, ArcSys, this issue, ArcSys, this issue. And then like 3 months later we get, so we've seen the feedback and we acknowledge it and we're actively working on it. Then 5 months later we finally get a patch for it. We're like, oh, thank God we got it. And then another thing shows up, and then we're just like, well, I guess we're just gonna have to hold this one because this one is at least playable, unlike the last one. It's a really actually terrible spot to be in, and I think that's one of the issues I have and the main basis behind this video, because I feel as though people don't really hold the fire to them, and even if they do, they don't listen. Namely because we're like foreigners or whatever, right? You know how it is. We're considered foreigners in their eyes. So as a result, our issues don't really matter as much. As long as the JP community is solid, man. It's like, oh, ArcSys, we have this issue, man. Like, this character is too strong. Well, is is our own people struggling with it? Let's keep this stack. Is our own people struggling with it? Oh no, HC is like is like B tier while there's S tiers and S plus tiers. Oh man, Happy Chaos couldn't be that much of a problem. You know, those North Americans and those Europeans always just like to complain. Let's not listen to them. you know? It's like, oh, Happy Chaos is not that bad. If he was that bad, we would see him in our own events. No, it couldn't be that, right? So then that's just kind of my issue, is like we just get no responses, and when we are very vocal about these things, we just don't get a response. And then when we do get a response, is we're working on it, and all to get it like 2 or 3 months later. It's a very long time, and it's gonna undoubtedly hurt the game, especially with Street Fighter 6 on the horizon. I say on the horizon, it's 6 months out, but on the horizon nonetheless, right? Because once that game drops, reality is it's gonna take a hit. I don't know how many people are gonna still be playing the game. It's something to definitely keep in mind, but either way, I'm not pressed about it. I'll just play whatever game that has people on it. That's just it, right? I didn't even like fighters, and I played it for a long time, but it's okay. Anyways, it's just a little bit of an awareness video and a little bit of a thought. Why is it that we don't get any sort of opinions when it comes to balancing it all? And developers don't play the game as high a level as the players do. So then my question is, why not bring in people who understand the game at a higher level, at the highest level, to kind of give their input, and then based on their input and based on the casual experience, you make changes? Because obviously the developers are casuals, like beyond casuals, bro. Like sometimes they don't even know their own frame data, like, you know what I'm saying? They're just beyond casuals. So just kind of find the middle ground between the two and then give that a shot. And even if it's not perfect, we can understand that you're trying. But with the way it is right now, it feels as though they're not trying to communicate with us. I don't know how hard it is to get approval for a tweet, but apparently they make that joint look mad hard. Anyways, that's all I had for this video. Just a little piece to think about. Have a good one, and I hope you have a great new year. Peace.